Welcome to the Cycling Demystified 12 Days of Bike Fitting. If this is your first time here, I'm your host, Wei, lead bike fitter of Foundation Bike Fit, and I'll be joined by my fellow fitter Matt and our in-house mechanic Ev from Frequency Cycle Works. 2024 has been an amazing year for the podcast, and as we near the end of the year, we wanted to create a little something extra to say thanks to all of you for listening, for your feedback and for all of your support. So what we've done is asked bike fitters from around the world and friends of the podcast to contribute an actionable bike fit tip to help you find even more comfort, efficiency and performance in 2025. Each day in the lead up till Christmas, we will play one tip and then the team and I will explore each tip in a bit more detail so you can get the most from all these nuggets of gold. On day 4, we have Arjan from De Vorm Bike Fit from the Netherlands.
Hi, it's Arjan from De Vorm Bike Fit. Thanks Wei and Matt for letting me contribute to the podcast. It's much appreciated. My Christmas bike fit tip is a really simple thing you can do, and that is recording some video footage of yourself when you are on the bike. Understanding how you sit on the bike and what your body does on the bike is just very important and interesting to know. And I think it also could be a great starting point to see where you could possibly improve your bike fit. So, record some video when you are on the trainer or ask somebody else to take some footage when you are riding outside. Get some different angles in from both sides, from the front, from the back, and just observe yourself. What do you see? What can you learn? How do you pedal? What are your feet doing? Do you see any differences left and right? How do you sit on the saddle? All sorts of questions you can ask yourself when watching your videos back. Becoming aware of your own interaction with the bike is just a very good thing to do now and then. And you might be able to learn something about yourself. Little disclaimer, at least in Holland, we all think we look like Mathieu van der Poel on the bike, so it could be a little bit painful to watch yourself on video, but don't be scared, be inspired, give it a try and see where you could possibly improve your bike experience. Good luck and cheers from Holland.
I don't think I look like Mathieu van der Poel. Not on the bike, not off the bike.
Yeah, some really interesting tip there from Arjan. And I think something that we use every day in our bike fitting, our most useful tool in the bike fit studio is the iPad, because we can video from any angle, all angles. And we do video everyone from side, back, front, above, low down, high up. And this is the best tool to actually understand what your body is doing on the bike. The video does not lie.
Camera never lies.
And this is where the body and mind become quite interesting, because cycling is so habitual that you basically habituate a certain position, you ingrain a certain position, and your body is so good at just getting the job done that if there is an acceptable amount of discomfort from that position, or you can do the task that you want to do in a position, and let's just say you're sitting off to one side, your body will normalize that. And so that becomes your new normal. Sitting off to one side becomes your new normal. And you won't realize that you're sitting off to one side because your body has accepted it. So just going through the simple act of videoing and getting an objective view on what your body is actually doing is really, really informative. And as Arjan was saying, yeah, sometimes it can be not what you expected, or the truth can hurt, because suddenly you realize, oh, I'm off to one side, or yeah, I'm sitting a bit twisted, or I don't look like Mathieu van der Poel.
But I think that seems to be an interesting kind of, we almost gaslight ourselves as cyclists into thinking that we should look a certain way on the bike. And it seems to be kind of unique to cycling, in that we see, these, demigods smashing it up climbs at like week 3 of like a grand tour, and we should all look like X rider or Y rider on the bike. Well, actually, maybe your body doesn't move that way. And having that direct, objective video feedback can often be a bit of a sting to the ego, but it can be the starting point to figuring out, right, how do I need to be positioned on the bike so that I am the most comfortable and the most efficient that I can be as an individual, rather than trying to almost, emulate something that might be completely unattainable or inappropriate. It's like, we were discussing this way the other day with runners versus cyclists. Yeah. And it's like, the expectation that, you run like Eliud Kipchoge is non-existent. You just would not expect yourself to be that graceful and that efficient when under your own steam. But put a bike in the way, and for some reason, we all think we need to look like, Tadej Pogacar or whoever it is.
We want our bikes to look like that.
We want our bikes to look like that, but there's an expectation that we want to look like that on the bike as well. And that is not necessarily healthy or optimal. So, great tip is to see, rip the Band-Aid off, see actually what it is that you are doing, and then you can start to move forward based on what you see and what it is that your body actually needs to make you more comfortable and more efficient on the bike.
Well, the thing we say with people when they come in is, this process of bike fitting is always a collaborative one, because, we need feedback from the rider, but we also need, the bike fitter to give feedback to the rider. Like, the rider has to be able to communicate what they're feeling, because the bike fitter has no idea what that rider is feeling. I don't know if the saddle is comfortable or not, if you're feeling pressure in your hands, or if pedaling feels easy or hard. And so, the bike fitter has to glean that information from the rider themselves. But the rider themselves can't see what the bike fitter can see. They can't see themselves. And that's why everyone keeps looking in, shop fronts and mirrors when they ride past.
Get a glimpse. Exactly.
Like, what am I doing? Yeah. Because we want to know. Am I Matthew van der Poeling, or am I don't know, Pogacharing?
To be fair, neither is good.
Yeah.
But that's a story for another day.
I don't know. Yeah, there's certain situations where they've both looked good at one stage anyway, but their current positions are kind of debatable. But that's another point.
When you're putting your all into something, you can't necessarily look beautiful all the time.
Yeah.
So.
But again, it's just giving yourself that opportunity, isn't it? Just to diagnose and to really, look at yourself. Like there's so many apps out there, bike fitting apps, which are all, video angle based and so on. And I always find it quite ironic because, everyone's obsessed with measuring the angles and videoing themselves from certain angles. But if you actually just look at the video,
look at the movement,
look at the person, you can tell so much more just from that. So go video yourself, guys. But video yourself from multiple angles, as we were saying, front, back, side, both sides. Because one side of your body may be doing something different. Maybe get someone to help you.
And do it indoors and outdoors.
Yeah.
Because what happens indoors might not necessarily be what happens outdoors, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Obviously, in a safe and controlled way, disclaimer. But are there any differences?
Yeah.
What do you notice? Are you making compensations in one situation relative to another? And make notes of the differences of what you feel, so you can see if they tie in with what you see.
Yeah.
If they do, great. If they don't, interesting.
Yeah. And sometimes it does prompt a certain feeling. If you see yourself sitting off to one side, you'll suddenly notice that, I am actually feeling a little bit more weight in one hand or one leg, or I'm rubbing a little bit more on one side of the saddle, and so on. My final tip for this, though, is to see if you can video yourself from a bird's eye view. If somehow you can get a camera to look down. Or if you, I remember fitting someone in their home and they had a staircase, and so you could stand at the staircase and look down on them. And quite often that view from top down will tell you so much more about where you're sitting. And give you a lot more clues as to, are you actually feeling what you're feeling? If one shoulder is more forward than the other, if one hip is more forward than the other, or are you sitting on the back of the saddle, or are you sitting right on the front of the saddle? All this kind of stuff you can tell. So
then go forth, use your newfound TikTok skills to actually film yourself rather than put it on the internet for everyone else to criticise.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Right. Good tips. Thanks for listening, and tune in tomorrow for another bike fit tip from the Cycling Demystified 12 Days of Bike Fitting. If you've enjoyed what you've heard or found any of the information has made a difference for your riding, we would be super grateful if you could do two things. Firstly, we'd love it if you could leave us a 5-star rating or review, as this really helps other riders find our podcast and access the same useful information you've been enjoying. Secondly, tell your friends on the next group ride to give us a listen. The more you can spread the word, the more riders can find a better ride. Thanks again, and catch you on the next one.
Suffering from numb hands, tingling toes, and any other persistent discomforts when you ride? These are all signs that your bike fit could be improved. If you're bike fit curious, get in touch with Wei or Matt by emailing info@foundation.fit or finding them on Instagram @FDN_bikefit. Finally, for all your bike servicing needs, custom dream bike or hand-built wheels, go to www.frequencycycleworks.com or find me on Instagram @frequencycycleworks. Until next time, keep on spinning.